Hello and welcome to Chaturday Live. My name is Jay Robinson. I'm your host, and tonight we have got a special. We're going to be talking about the behind the scenes of vlogging, blogging, and the stuff that you have around your house to help you pretty much get out there and get your business, your small page, and everything up and running. So we're going to be doing a bit of a tutorial. We've got loads of things to go through tonight, so it's all going to look a bit hunky-dory for you, so it's going to look fantastic. If you have any questions while the show is on, feel free to just type them in the comments. We'll go through them as we go through them. Not a problem. Share and like, as always. Clicking that like button helps the page go a little bit further. Hitting that share button goes even further. And if you follow us on YouTube, you'll be able to see what we get up to there as well. So once again, as I said, my name is Jay Robinson. If this is the first time that you've been here, the show is called Chaturday Live in support of mental health awareness. We do a lovely show pretty much just to let you guys know at home that while we're in lockdown, although we may be coming out of it soon, we're all still connected, we're all still here, and we're very much together. So it's not a problem. So as always, my partner in crime for this talking point and malarkey, I'll introduce him onto the stage now. Can you please welcome the one and only Mr. Dan Veall?
Hello, how you doing? You all right, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Long time no see.
Well, it's been about 5 minutes. We spoke on Instagram about half an hour ago. You was there.
I know, right?
Right. So the reason why you can see that Dan has his name, Mr. Dan Veall, against his, and then mine says Main and Mike, Mike's, for what God knows reason, is because we're going to be explaining to you the stuff that we use to create the show, whether it be expensive or stupidly cheap. We'll run through it so you guys at home can see the behind the scenes and all the hard work that goes into doing Chaturday Live. So whenever we get a guest on the show, i.e. Dan, for instance, it's not just a case of, hey, guys, can you join me at 7, 8 o'clock or whenever it may be and plop along and click this link. We do interviews beforehand. We contact people during the week. We say, can you guys come on Chaturday Live? Can you join me here? So-and-so, yada, yada. And then we talk about what they want to talk about. We get a feel for how the show is going to go. We make our guests feel comfortable. And then, yeah, so there's a lot of ins and outs of it. So first off, we'll start as we need to go on. How are you, Dan? Do you feel comfortable?
I do, actually. Fair comment, really. You know, we have a little chat beforehand and just have a bit of a run over what we're going to be nattering on about and everything. And, you're a very, very calming influence for sure.
Well, I do try my very best. I try and be very soothing. So as you know, this is where we do our little a little waffle. This is Talking Point. So anybody that has seen that, we did it a couple of weeks ago, where we literally just waffled on about music, and we spoke about what we do like, what we don't like, and all the stuff in between. But tonight is the night when we get behind the scenes of what's going on here. So I'm going to let you probably lead the questions tonight, Dan, because I'm the one that's got all of the setup. So you're practically interviewing me tonight about what you'd like to see.
Excellent.
So start as you mean to go on. What would you like to know about Chaturday Live?
Well, I guess first of all, you're a one-man setup, aren't you? You know, really, well, as it sort of began. First of all, I want to know is, for people who haven't tuned in previously, is why are you doing this and what is driving you to deliver, first of all. So if anyone's doing, videography, doing vlogs or anything like that, I think one of the key things is, what is the point in doing? What are you aiming to achieve? So for you, what's Chaturday all about for anyone who hasn't tuned in before?
Okay, so Chaturday Live it was a concept that I had in my head. I was kind of like, I'd moved away about 350, 70 odd miles away from where I was originally from in Suffolk, all the way north in Carlisle during a pandemic. So I couldn't even really have a goodbye, say hello to people, bye-bye to people. I just upped and left with the wife and son. We moved to Carlisle to plant new roots, as they say. And then it really hit me that I was such an outgoing, sociable person that one had been taken away with the pandemic. But two, my actual life and lifestyle and working lifestyle revolved around me being around people. And then I thought to myself, how many other people are in the entertainment business of, performing, singing, radios, obviously TV and all that, who've had to take a nosedive in their career, and had to reevaluate like priorities, obviously for safety during COVID. And I was like, how can I put my skills out there of being a front man and entertainer to the general public like I used to on a weekly basis, but this time do it to help people rather than to help myself. So I was thinking, well, if I'm suffering mentally with not being around my friends and family, then surely there's going to be a deeper involvement, and there's going to be people suffering mentally with not being able to see their friends and family for exactly the same reason, if not worse. So I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get my best friend Kevin on. We'll have a chat over the internet, kind of like a FaceTime but live, and let people tune in, watch what me and him are doing, comment, and then just say, hey, you guys can feel free to join in if you want a conversation and hear about what we're waffling on about. You're not alone. We've entered your house, via your social media platform. Thank you for letting us in. Feel free to be a part of it. And Chaturday Live has literally just evolved from me interviewing my friends to now interviewing people of interest, celebrities, people of art, people of all different walks of life. And it's now become its own little following on social media of people that genuinely just interested in seeing what other people are up to. It's not so busy now because obviously everybody is now planning for the out of lockdown. And when I pick 7 o'clock on a Saturday night, it's either watch me or the two Geordie lads on ITV. You got a choice, because they've come back on. My viewings have dipped since Saturday Night Takeaways come on. I won't lie. So I'll send them a nasty email. I'm sure they'll understand.
They don't know what they're missing.
They don't know what they're missing.
No, for sure.
So it's evolved. And then obviously what we're going to do now, we will go through the whole process of where I started with nothing to now starting with next to nothing, but being a little bit more successful than I did back in September 2020.
Yeah, for those who've been, obviously have tried this as well, and a lot of people are doing FaceTime and Skype and sort of the Google equivalent, and even Zoom, obviously, because of lots of people being stuck at home and everything. Your first system that you used, I think probably others are going to find the same. What limitations did you find, and how did that take you to the platform that you're using at the moment? And of course, actually describe what platform you're actually using to make this wonderful display.
Okay, so when I first started, if you go back to the first ever video that I ever did for Chaturday Live last year in September, there was me, and I literally went live on Facebook, not using any system like I do now, live on Facebook, just using your phone. There was me on top, him underneath, just having a FaceTime or going live with him joining me on social media. So all I needed at the time was just a mobile phone, somewhere quiet to be able to, to broadcast. And yeah, just an internet connection. It was just so simple. And he just dialed in, the same as what people do on Instagram and FaceTime now. It's the same thing. And we just waffled, and then you could see comments, scrolling up the screen as you do when you're on FaceTime, on live on Facebook. And I was thinking to myself, that's all well and good, but using my phone in portrait mode, it just, in my head, I thought, that just doesn't look right. It doesn't look professional. I'm trying to let people know that we're here for them, but really it just looks like I'm, just FaceTiming my mate and everybody's joining in. So I thought, okay, we'll go down some different routes. So it started off with a smartphone, an internet connection.
Ta-da!
You can see now, a smartphone, an internet connection. And somewhere quiet. It was, there was no microphone, but the reason why I'm using this now is because it will come apparent later on during the show. I must confess, I have a sore throat. I've got a cough. It's not what you think it is. I've done home tests because my wife was a teacher. I'm perfectly fine. It's just a sore throat. So I'm just on the Lemsits. So as you saw there, as you can see, I'm not using my hands and things are happening on the screen. So it's because we are well advanced now. We have a crew of people on Chaturday Live, which is even more fun, which I'm fantastic about. And I'm sure my production manager has actively gone on his social media page as well and shared Chaturday Live, because I will check up on him. Right. So yeah. So again, going from literally just simple. It was literally just simple mobile phone. It just felt very plain. So yeah, there was an involvement needed as you go.
Absolutely brilliant. So when obviously from there's two things actually you made a point of straight away. Actually, just using a mobile phone is absolutely fine to get started with. Facebook Live, and actually having a suitable space. So if you're going to be doing this kind of chat somewhere quiet. Or if you're going to be outside, trying to find a way of like staying away from traffic noise and sort of wind and everything like that. So obviously going from that to a more designated and more specific kind of platform, what kind of research did you need to do in order to find the platform that you're using now? And actually, what is the platform? How does it work? And what are you able to do in the background whilst I'm sort of rambling on, or I might be saying something?
Yeah. So again, I went from that. I looked into it. I was like, okay, now I don't have a massive pot of money. I was doing it for entertainment purposes. I was like, where can I go? What can I do to make this look a little bit better? And I went on the internet and I just went live streaming software for Facebook. I deliberately just went for Facebook. Where can I do it for Facebook? That gives me a little bit of play around. Now, Facebook have a business suite where you can actually go in there and you can edit bits and bobs. You can actually put layovers. You can do bits and bob inside Facebook. But you're still then limited when you interview people or more than one person on actually having them on the screen professionally. So I was like, okay, so there needs to be things. So I had a look at different companies, different websites. If anybody is interested in, you're thinking about doing this yourself, and that's why we're doing it, to let you people know where it starts and ends. I went through the internet. We went on so many different things. They promise you the world. They say, you can stream to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, I think it was at the time. You can go all the way across the platforms and all Twitch and everything, and you can do them for free. And you go, oh, okay, that sounds fantastic. And then obviously when you click onto the website, it's like it's free, but you get next to naught for free. You have to upgrade. And obviously, if somebody's taken time to develop a website and plan, it's not always going to be free. And I understand that. So I had a look, and then I came across this one that we're using now. It's called StreamYard. And it is so simple. It literally gives me the freedom to be able to do what I need to do. Now, obviously, my hands are here, but if I try and direct my producer in the nicest possible, I'm going to make him work. He's going to go over to brand again, and then while we scroll down on brand, where it says layovers, I think it is, or something like that, you'll see one that says, the first one will say StreamYard. If you click that on the screen at the top, there we go. Look at that. See, look, this is hands-free with my producer. Thank you very much. We'll introduce it. He's on it. So this is what you will have on your screen all the time. So they're publicizing their business. Oh, that way, because I'm mirrored. So you're going to have your business. Obviously, stream now. That's going to be on there. Or there'll be another one that has a logo, a small little one in the other corner, a watermark. And it literally will just dominate your screen as it is now. So if you go back to my first couple of videos, it will have the StreamYard logo in the top corner. It was free, but it was a way of letting me broadcast the way I wanted to do with a few sacrifices, as you can imagine. So again, I had my, if we're going through the years, like we're rolling on to where we are now. So we're going to waffle on, Dan.
That's good.
So yeah, we're doing through the years. So yeah, it went from the mobile phone to then having my laptop, and my laptop literally I flicked open my laptop. My laptop has a camera on it, and then by using my laptop, I was just able to do a FaceTime on my laptop using a website. My laptop is prehistoric. It's Asus, and it is now probably about 8 years old. It's filled with like photos of where I've been on holiday and bits and bobs. It is so slow now. I can defrag it and everything, See, look, he's working hard, isn't he? These little things coming up on the screen. He's doing his job, bless him.
We should just quickly say that although we've got someone in the background sort of changing screens, this is all stuff that you were originally doing sort of on your own.
Yes.
Changing screens and things like that actually as you were speaking.
Yes. So if I do like a matrix thing, I'm going to try and catch him out now. If I put my hand there and I say, I want to swap to the other side of the screen, as if by magic, he should be able to swap our pictures. There you go.
That's good.
But again, having to do that, I would have to have my keyboard, my mouse, or on the laptop is even harder because I didn't have a wireless mouse or a keyboard. I had to literally just be there looking at the pad, trying to do it all, trying to type on the laptop at the same time. And yeah, so we're spoiling the party here, but you can see that I've deliberately set up thousands of cameras around the room today to show you the full extent of what's going to happen. You can get rid of that one now, Sean. We'll get there, but yes, thank you. Oh, and we have a guest on your screen. So yeah, I had my little laptop and a little tiny screen on it. Went through it, and then again, I was like, "This is getting interesting now. If I want to bring more interesting people onto my show, I need to make that first initial step to look more professional. If that makes sense."
Yeah.
So I think I'm happy to divulge. StreamYard, it cost me about £19 or just under, and then I can get rid of the watermark, and then it gives me freedom to do absolutely everything. Again, putting these stuff that's on the screen now. Obviously, I have multiple cameras on the screen, be able to do bits and bobs. So I had that. So I had my laptop, and then when Sean gave it away there, you can notice that I'm not using a laptop anymore. There's a desktop, and it's another expenditure. So now I don't recommend this for everybody. I justified my spending. Sean, feel free to put that my laptop cam back up again so people can see. So you got the room cam there. As you can see, obviously I've got an expenditure here. Now I have an Apple Mac computer. Which you can get rid of that. There you go. Get rid of that as well. Get rid of that. He's just flicking around now. Right. Just get rid of them. Click on it twice and it goes. There we go. Right. So you can see that I've obviously got my Mac there, which is an expenditure in itself because they're not cheap. So I do apologize. There is a bit of a hack going on here where I have spent money. I'm a musician. I'm a singer, songwriter by heart. So the reason why I have the Mac is because this was something that I was going to purchase anyway. When I moved into my new house, obviously up north, obviously you can see I have my little office and studio here where I can do recording. It's tidied up. You can't see practically what's behind the Mac, so that's good.
I kind of, it's a point which has just come to mind really is for those watching, and I think for anyone who's watching, anyone else streaming as well, even when we got to this point with what you could call a like a basic setup, using a phone or using a computer, there is an outlay immediately. You've just wanted to get your screen looking a bit more professional. You've not even talked about creating logos or anything like that, and you're already shelling out for a monthly plan. So for people who are watching, I think maybe that goes by unnoticed, that actually even if it appears that someone's doing it for free, there is a cost implication. Sorry, I've got to adjust my teeth there, and that needs to be factored in to whatever your plan is. Do you have a way of having an income stream, or is this something that would be treated in the same way that a hobby might be, where you've got to buy new bits and pieces for your hobby every now and then? Is this a fee that you're going to be happy with, or are you going to factor it into your business?
Yeah, I think if anybody's watching, you see, the way I look at it is that we were in a pandemic. We are still in a pandemic. Fingers crossed, coming out of it very quickly is the idea. The way I looked at it is I justified it, and I didn't have to justify it to myself. I had to justify it with my boss, which is my wife, and she has the be all and end all say on most of the stuff I do. I said to her, well, we're in lockdown. Roughly a month, I would be a sociable person, which would mean I'd probably be going out playing golf, playing football, or going down the pub, or going out for a meal with friends and family. And that all adds up, when you add up how much you actually spend on having a social life, outside of a pandemic, it's quite costly, really. So I was like, well, I don't smoke. I drink, but I don't drink heavily. But, when I go out and obviously go out with my friends, I'm probably going to spend more than £20 on a night out, even if I'm just having a few. So I justified it as if to say, well, if I've got the same income as I did before the pandemic, I was one of the lucky ones. And I do apologize, anybody that's watching that had to be furloughed or let go. I was one of the lucky ones that my career path meant that I was still working on a daily basis. So I still had the same income. There was no cuts. My partner was still on her income. There was no cuts. So I could still literally just go by my day-to-day living and say, this would be my outgoing. So yeah, I've justified it off that. When lockdown is over and I can go back out and meet and greet people, again, obviously that cost will slowly come back. Obviously golf, going out for meals, friends and family. But I would hope that I've gained enough support and following for people that emotionally it would be worth me spending that rather than physically spending it as a hobby. Does that make sense? I'm doing it now as an entertainment hobby for myself rather than, just for the sake of, if that makes sense.
For sure.
So yeah, there are expenditures, but yeah, you have to justify everything you do. And we'll go through to why I'm holding a microphone and everything a bit later on as well. But yeah, it's all justified. So so we're up to spending money, and we'll talk logos, because I shocked you with this, didn't I, when I mentioned my logo?
Yeah, you did.
And I will tell people how to get a free logo. You'll love it. Let me which happens to be on my lovely mug, which is still for sale.
Nice.
I'm still making money for mental health awareness. If you want to buy a mug, he's put the logo up in the corner as well. Look, he's getting there. Look, he's getting
a very worthy cause. Yeah, I like it.
Right.
It's good.
Right. So my logo, which is up in the corner and which normally sits behind the broadcast that we do, I literally went on to a logo maker website, a free logo maker website. You can find thousands of them on the internet. You just type in free logos or business cards. I went on there, and it pretty much just asks you a series of questions like, what's it for? What color scheme are you going for? Yada, 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 yada. And you put these in, and then it generically just gives you about 20 different options of designs, and then you can go through the colors, yada, yada, yada. And I came up with this one. And then at the end of it, I may get sued, but at the end of it, it tells you, right, you've now got this. Please purchase this. I recommend if you've got a smart tablet or anything like that, pretty much just screenshot the logo and save it as a photo, and then you've got a logo, because anybody can make my logo on their Word or anything at home. So it's not like it's cost anybody £1,000. It was a generic thing. I do say, if you paid somebody, though, a good proportion of money to do you a logo, don't just screenshot it and run off. They've worked out on that. But this was a generic website giving away trade secrets. So again, please don't see me. As long as I don't say the company name that I did it on, I should be fine. Yes, we did a logo, screenshot it. Again, this is all beneficial. Later on down the line, as you can see, the logo, we've got more clear and stuff. So I have gone back and I've done it all a bit more professionally. But to start off with, as you can see in the top right-hand corner or left-hand corner, or wherever it is, the one that my producer has put up there, that's the original one. That's very bright and you can't really see the text. And then the one that's on the screen now is a do-over. Same shape, same design, but clearer picture, and again, a little bit of an expense. So be careful, people. If you want that clearer picture on your screen, an expense does come with it.
When it came to choosing your logo, did you, I would probably suggest going and having a look around at other people's logos who are doing something similar, or trying to figure out what it was that made a logo stand out. Did you do any homework or anything like that, or did it just sort of fall into place and you've ended up with something which works particularly well?
Well, again, it came down to doing research on what you see on a daily basis, and it passes you by so obvious, and you take mental images of this and you don't realize. Now, the color orange is a standout color, but it's what they call a generic color that is not branded towards any gender. It's when you grew up, it used to be like blue, baby blue, and pink for girls, or it used to be like green as a neutral and yellows and stuff like that. Orange is a standalone color, which generically, when people look at it, associate with the sun and morning. And if you remember, my show used to be a morning show. The first time I interviewed you, I made you get out of bed at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning.
It was ridiculous.
I know. It's crazy. I don't know why people do it. So if you watch, if you're watching from the UK or watching this back, you'll find that all of our morning programs have like a yellow or an orange tint in their programming for morning programming, which is like a good morning, feeling good vibe, because orange is a good feeling good vibe. It reminds you of having a good day, sunshine, all the vitamins you need. So yeah, there was some work put behind it. The color scheme itself, I thought, if we go for orange, it's bright, it's bold, it stands out. And any friends and family that watch this or anything, or if you scroll through your social media, you will notice my sign. You will know my profile picture when it comes through. It's very out there.
Vivid.
So I would say to people, if you're doing something, make sure it's unique to you, but make sure that it stands out deliberately for what you want it to do. So mine's a chat show. So there you go. If you were like into heavy metal grunge stuff, you may then go, right, I'm into like the darker colors, or I'm into the punk. You get like the funky purples and the blues and the greens and stuff like that. Whatever it may be that goes inside with what you're doing, do a bit of research, and then people will immediately associate it with what it needs to be associated with. So yeah, and obviously the when I started doing it, I was doing it originally for Help for Heroes and Mind Charity, and I had a look at their logos, and like you say, they've got very bold colors, but the Help for Heroes has obviously got the bold colors of the red, white, and the blue, and then the navy colors as well. They stand out. That Help for Heroes logo when I first started. And then same again when you got the Mind Charity, that logo, you can see it. It's got a nice blue to it. It stands out. And I wanted to replicate that. So when I saw this come up on the screen when I was originally doing it, I was like, that stands out. It's simple that it tells you what it needs to tell you, and there's not too much going on. And plus, when you do profile pictures on like your WhatsApp or your Instagram and everything, nowadays, they ask for a circular picture, not a square or portrait picture. So having a circular logo means you can zoom in and get a full logo rather than trying to do a rectangle or square shaped. So food for thought that the future's going round rather than square. Check your logo spaces.
Clever stuff. Clever stuff.
Oh, hello.
I think I might have unfortunately lost you on that one. I think we had a bit of a dropout there. Hopefully Jay will be back with us in just a moment. And here he comes. There you go.
Right,
that was amazing. So this is one of the amazing things about doing something live is you never quite know when something's going to drop out, when the internet decides to pick a moment to cut us short. But hey, they won't stop us. We shall continue on. So whilst Jay's just sorting himself out, for those who have just joined in, we are talking to Jay about his setup for Chaturday Live and some of the technology that he uses in order to make it happen. The kit itself doesn't necessarily have to be particularly expensive, and maybe later on we'll chat a little bit about the kind of kit that you can use for a more professional setup. Certainly, as we'll see in Jay's kit later on, we've got multiple camera angles and the like. But for now, at the moment, we're just going through where Jay started from, and the kind of kit that he's been using in order to bring this show to you. It's delivered very, very professionally, but I think actually there's actually a lot going on, a lot of effort going on, and earlier on we heard about a cost implication. See, I can't even say it again now, of actually just being able to deliver something very, very simple. And we're going to hear a little bit more about it. Jay, are you back with us?
Right. So again, this is what I was saying about this. Okay, bearing in mind that my production manager, that would have scared the life out of him, because that's the first time we would have seen anything that had happened. Did I totally understand? Luckily enough, we do have 19,000 different cameras currently set up around the place. So I'm just going to return this one on back. Hopefully.
There we go.
Okay, right. So if I just get rid of that one off the screen, there we go. What are you doing, Sean?
Hello, Sean.
Sean just put himself up on the live stream. He's like, hello. He's flicking through. Right, don't put anything up yet, Sean. You're all right. So yeah, so the implications are, as you can see, obviously everything is live, and the aspect of having live means that anything can go wrong. No, and then this is a good point that I was saying. So originally, when I didn't have a microphone and I didn't have the Mac and I had the laptop, if anything went wrong, there wasn't a spare camera. Now, as you saw there with Sean, when I was off the screen, all I have to do is wave my arms around, and then any one of the 19,000 cameras that are in the room, he can flick on those and my image will still be there, and then he can unmute any one of those cameras and my vocals would come through them. So as a trial and error, I would like to see, we're going to do this now, he's going to get rid of my screen, not yet, Sean. He's going to get rid of mine. He's going to put the iPhone camera on and then click the unmute button without me touching it. And hopefully, Dan, you can tell me that you've heard me nice and clear. So get rid of this screen and do the iPhone one and then unmute the iPhone one. See if you can do it. If you hover the name, it will tell you to remove it. Fingers crossed. He's thinking about it. No, Sean, are you with us? I think Sean might have froze. Never mind. That's live TV for you. So yeah, the basics. So we're going to go into the basics now. So I don't know whether Sean, if you are there or you're not there. Are you there, Sean? Nobody knows. I'm going to have to go into the order. Make sure he's okay. I don't know where he's gone. Anyway, so yeah, so I'll take over then if he's not here. That's fine. He may have froze up. So again, the reason why I keep moving over here is because I'm just giving the iPad a bit of a kick up the bottom.
Dun,
right.
dun, dun.
So there's a reason for that. So yeah, hopefully that will, in a sec, inadvertently, give me what I need. Right, so yeah, Sean's gone. He's frozen. He's disappeared. So I'm back to now doing it as I would. So what I'm going to do, actually.
Aha.
Okay, so I'm there, and I'm there, and I'm there, and I'm there. So you should now have full view of everything that's going on in different time zones.
Magic.
So the reason why we're doing this, and hopefully all the other mics should. I will mute those. Yeah, everything's muted other than I think so. All right, so we're good. And then I think the iPad one just doesn't want to play ball today. So we'll go on the go with this one. So as you can see, we've got the iPhone camera here. So you can see me. This is the iPhone picture. Now, the reason why I deliberately used an iPhone or any smartphone, it doesn't matter which one it is because they're actually designed to have a clear picture when taking photographs and videos. So although the technology may not be what you want it to be, you'll get a clearer video using that. And then because of the freak accident, we'll show you live now exactly. So what had happened is we're using one of these little things. We'll show you that on any one of the screens. So this is the equivalent of a GoPro, but it's not. This is called a Cross Tour, I believe it is. Cross Tour. And that cost me £50 off the old Amazon web. And that acts exactly the same as a GoPro, and you can plug it into your camera, whatnot. All it is that I've forgot the charger for it, so I've made do, and that's why I cut it out. So it's not anything that would happen to you guys. It's purely just what happened to me. So that was what was on the main camera. That was giving me the camera. But because we're using a PC or a Mac, all I've done is now I've just changed the setting over. So we've gone back over to the FaceTime camera. So the Mac is still working and the microphone is still working. So we can get rid of that. So again, you'll see me up there. We can put that up there. So you'll see what's going on here. And in doing so, you can see on the laptop camera in the corner as well that you've got the Mac over here. Which is the iPad, which is giving up the ghost slowly for no one knows what reason. So we're not going to broadcast for that, but that would be another camera. And then obviously you've got the phone here, and you've got the main one here. And yeah, so
we've established that the StreamYard app that you're using is able to take on multiple cameras. Have you got a limit to how many cameras you can add? You're saying 19 million, but is there an amount of cameras that you... there's two questions, actually. Is there a limit to how many cameras you can add on this app for your monthly subscription? And is there a limit to how many you can actually handle whilst you're running a show on your own?
Yeah, the limit is... when you pay for a service, I think you can have up to 10 people on the screen at any one time. So that'd be 10 people or 10 cameras.
Yeah.
Well, you can see that I've set up the laptop and the iPhone and then the main screen and whatnot. Is because it's all web-based. It's not a program that you download and you use. Now, for anybody that's techie, you can use OBS. You can add multiple cameras using OBS and then broadcast that onto one screen. But this is all done on the internet. So any device that can connect to the internet or via Wi-Fi or anything like that can connect to this, and then you can add them in and out willy-nilly as you wish. So that's how that one works out. So yes, if I want to do a live broadcast, I normally just use the one camera, which is normally the main mic one here. And then if I get rid, hopefully, hopefully you can still hear me.
I certainly can. Yep.
Still hear me. So I've got rid of that. So now the input is coming through the computer rather than the microphone, and then my output is coming through there for some reason. For some reason, my my Focusrite's given up the ghost as well, so that doesn't even want to play ball. So we'll go through all that. But yeah, the idea is that now I'm going to do a tour of a tour. So I'm going to actually remove this, and we're going to do what the iPad would have done.
Have a little bit of a look around.
So yes, this is my screen. This is what we see. This is what me and my guests see. You can see the layout here. So you've got everything that's going on. And you can see my little producer down there. Hi, Shawnee! See, he's down there in the background. He's showing his artist. He is there. And then obviously by doing that, we're using whatever we need to use. So again, And then the reason I want to show you is this down here. Another expenditure that we've made. I'm going to get rid of that because I generally don't show pictures of my son on the internet, so I'm going to get rid of that. I might have to delete this footage. Don't rewind it. Is a Focusrite. Now, you actually have one of these, don't you, Dan?
I do. If I have, I can do a bit of a close-up for you. So what we've got is an audio interface, a piece of hardware for receiving audio from a microphone or a keyboard or a guitar or whatever it might be, and basically dealing with the interface, I suppose, both physically and electronically, with getting your sound into the computer and actually also back out again. Now, the reason why we use interfaces is because we've got a physical connection that we have to deal with, but also on-board sound cards on laptops can give us some issues with what's called latency, the delay of you making a sound and the computer being able to deal with it and actually sort of spit it back out the other end. So although mine's a slightly different one, this is also a Focusrite audio interface. I'm going backwards, so I'm going to have to move it in the screen a little bit like so. And essentially you can see we've got some inputs here for microphones or guitars or whatever it might be. If you're plugging in headphones so you don't get any sort of feedback, then headphone output as well. And then on the back of the device, there's usually a whole bunch of different connections. I'm going to move this in the light so you can see what's going on. You've got your outputs here. This is going backwards and I can't see what I'm doing. This is where you connect to your computer. So it could be USB or Thunderbolt or whatever your data connection is. Some power as well, should it require that. And as I said, that allows you to plug your microphones or whatever it might be in so that you can feed the sound into, in this case, StreamYard or OBS, or even something like Skype or one of these other sort of communication apps. I suppose one of the bonuses of using external microphones is just better sound. I'm using something very, very basic today. I'm just using the headset kit which came with my my phone. But Jay's setup, as you saw, he had a microphone earlier on. He needs to get that sound from the microphone into the device, and I think we've got a bit of a close-up there, so we're probably going to see how you do that.
Hopefully by the power of that will be, you can hear me.
Looks good.
So you can see it's very, very techy. So you're going to see, look at the green light on the screen flashing. That is my vocals. So hopefully Darren from Care Real Love in the Community was asking me this, how I can go out live and stream anywhere and everywhere. And the answer is, use a laptop, and then this Focusrite system that you can see here is USB and it powers off a laptop. So if the laptop's got full charge, this Focusrite has full charge. And what this does, and then this system here, which is a radio monitor, microphone radio monitor, and as you can see, it's not heavily branded. What it is actually a cheap one. £50 this cost me off Amazon, and you can hear me nice and clearly. And it comes with 2 microphones, so you can have 2 running at the same time on one system. And then what you do is you take the mix out from the back and you run it into the jack input of the Focusrite, which then in turn takes it into the laptop, which means that I can walk anywhere up to about 150 meters away from my laptop and still have perfectly clear sound. So if I was to do, i.e. a music festival, I would set up the laptop with a camera hanging over the top of it, which I will put my show on. Can you put the laptop view back on for us? And then drag it across. So it's the big one. There you go. So technically the laptop would be at the back of the studio or back of the stadium. You get the clear picture of me saying, hi, how's everybody doing? But in theory, I could get up and go downstairs and make myself a cup of tea with this microphone, and you'd still hear me, even though I wasn't in shot. And the idea is that by using simplistic things, I will tell you now, the Focusrite from Amazon, if you get a good deal on a good day, could set you back around about £90 to £120, depending on where you get. This is a Mark III.
It's a 2i2, isn't it?
Oh, that's the one. Yes, it's the 2i2. And then the toner one, just type in wireless microphones onto Amazon. I will tell you that if you buy them for karaoke and stuff, you may find that you're going to come a cropper. These aren't top quality. These aren't pitch perfect. They aren't designed to be sung into and screamed into. 50 quid to get what you're getting. But for broadcasting and what I'm using them for, that is perfectly adequate. They just need a voice to come through. If I just do a quick round with the camera, this is the good part about having the phone. You see, wireless, you can actually see
magic.
Hopefully, but you have to tell the phone to do what you want it to do. So I'm going to use that. So hopefully you can get a good idea there. If I freeze my hand, you can see I'm on the screen here freezing. So USB output, so there's no power output. It's just the DC output for the wireless system. And then just do the mix, and then that goes straight into the front of the Focusrite, and then that sends the signal straight into the computer, into the laptop, and away you go. So yeah, I can go for a wander, and then as you see, you've got that little tiny thing hanging out here, and then if you go onto, can you put Mike and me onto the main one, drag it across for us? I'm not doing it. That's what I'm producing for. You can see this is what we were talking about with Dan before. I've got my in-ears in, which comes out of that Focusrite, and if I really wanted to, my in-ear set comes with an in-ear pack. And if I really wanted to go that extra mile, I could also hook my in-ear pack up to this system, which means that I can physically hear from 100 miles away, as well as talk from 100 miles away, and everything stays in one location. And what I would do is I would use this as my on-the-scene camera, but my vocals would be coming through another channel. So you can see the camera one in the top-hand corner. That's not giving you any vocals whatsoever. This is just purely for image. And the one that says main and mic is the one giving you the image. So they both need to be on the screen at the same time. So that's a bit of a fun tutorial for you there. But, you know, as we digress into what we can and can't do, that's a horrible picture to put that up on the stand on. That's it was, hopefully we'll get somewhere a bit better. That's fine. Yeah, so the moral of the story is creating Chaturday Live. I made an expenditure of my own accord to make the show more professional. And the reason why I got the microphones is because I managed to score an interview with a football club, which was Kendal Town Football Club. And I needed to actively be able to interview 3 different people during a pandemic, socially distanced, in one room. Wireless microphones. Ooh, what's...
Bit of feedback happening there.
Who's giving me the feedback? See, this is the problem. The iPhone one, which I did. That stopped that coming through. Hopefully. Are we all good now?
You've got a bit of an echo. I think there's an echo in the background as well.
Oh my god. Where's that echo coming from? That should be better now. No.
Still got it. It's one of the downsides for running live and setting up things on the fly is sometimes there's little things to deal with. Yes. But
they've gone. So I've got rid of, if you get rid of this is what I mean. This was just a hypothetical, all set up in one close area, which all of them have microphone access, all of them have camera access. And you wouldn't necessarily do that in one room. You would be able to probably set up actual proper cameras with situation. But the idea is that I'm explaining to you guys at home that you can use iPads, old laptops, iPhones for perfect picture. You know, that people can see you and understand you. 50 quid for the microphone setup, 80 odd pounds, maybe a little bit more depending on where you get it from Amazon for the Focusrite. Any old headphones will plug straight into there. You just need a jack adapter, you know, to make it a little bit bigger. So if that's what you want. But it all comes down, and if anybody's watching and they want some more information, I will send them all the details. But yeah, so that's the behind the scenes sort of thing of Chaturday Live. It is a case of I've done it minimalistic. Now I have Sean on board, which, we don't have long now. Sean, if you're happy, put yourself up on the screen. We can say hello. Hi, Sean.
Hello.
There we go.
You all right?
Sean has been in the background messing around with the cameras. This is his first time physically having to demand the access of 45,000 different cameras as well on the screen. So it's confusing for all of us with feedback and stuff. It was trial and error, but we wanted to prove to you guys later on that it can be done, and it's not just simply just gun-ho. Sean is going to be our production manager for when we do actually go on tour and interview people locally in the Carlisle community where I'm based. And hopefully we'll be able to give you more of an insight of what this system that we use can do on the road. And if you'd like to see a clip of that, go back and watch one of our videos that was recorded in December last year, which was from Kendalltown Football Club, and you'll get an idea of what it's like in an outside environment. But yes, it is now coming up to 8 o'clock, which means that I need to go and have my tea, because I don't eat before a show because I have so much preparation. As you can see, guys, we have these little things. Again, these aren't worth explaining about. You can get these for about 12 quid or up to like £4,000, depending on what kind of quality you want. But they give you a nice little bit of light for when you're broadcasting in your bedroom or wherever you'll be. Again, we are using the FaceTime camera for the actual video at the moment, but again, we have the cameras absolutely situated area. We actually got the room view. Put the room view back up for us so people can see what's going on. Hi. So people can see me all the way from there. Again, that is just a simple laptop with a camera attached to it. There is no dramas whatsoever. Hi, everybody. It's simple. It is so simplistic. There is no big drama going on behind the scenes. Next time me and Dan are on here talking on Talking Point, as we've called it recently, we will come up with a new topic that we hope actually will be more beneficial for you guys at home to speak to us about. Maybe not so techie, maybe not so musical, but we will talk about bits and bobs. Oh, yeah. Maybe the purchase of a certain ginger cat may come up as well. Is it about? Or is he gone?
No, he's not. He popped in earlier on, very, very briefly.
He did, yes.
And he's disappeared off again. Whilst I'm busy, he's making sure that he's taking over the house and making it quite his own. Yes, I have a new cat, and he's been with me for this last week now, and he's settled in absolutely brilliantly. Bless his little heart. He's very, very cool. So I'm hoping that he'll be taking over my side of the screen sometime in the future. You never know.
I'm hoping.
What are you trying to do, Joe?
I'm hoping that you guys can all hear me. Can you hear me still?
Certainly can.
Yep.
Right, and you're not getting any echo now?
Nope.
No. So the idea is what I've done now is I've deliberately taken off my focus. Right, I've taken off the system now. I'm back to bare basics. The microphone's not there. You can hear me purely through the microphone that's inside a laptop or a PC or a Mac. The image is coming straight through. So the idea is that I have upgraded my system deliberately for my needs and my purpose. But if you wanted to do this, you can go onto any streaming website. So you've got StreamYard, which I highly recommend. It's simple to use. It does come at a cost if you don't want to use the watermark that comes with it. But if you'd like to keep that on, it's perfectly fine. I know that other channels are now using this system because most of the people that I've interviewed on the show, I now look on their pages and they're doing something similar, using exactly the same sort of system because it is so easy. It's cost effective if you're happy to use it, for the cost that it does. All I recommend is that you say, just wager up your priorities and what you can and can't afford. Don't go over the top. But as I mentioned before, I had it down here. You've got a 50 quid version of a GoPro if you're not going to go deep sea diving with it, which will give you a perfectly good camera away from your laptop. You've got smartphones, again, it doesn't have to be the most up-to-date smartphone, but you can use something so simple just like this if you need a camera, externally that you can connect to a Wi-Fi or internet signal. It can give you that second camera while you're here. Again, if you've got iPads, preferably not my one, that's going in the bin in a minute. And then again, my little stupid ASOS laptop that is about 8 years old. It's on its last legs, but I've attached another camera to it, put it up on a tripod. It's given me room view so you guys can see me if I was at the back of a stadium or somewhere a little bit different, as you see on the screen there. So yeah, feel free to contact the show, get hold of myself if you want to know a little bit more. I can give you more information on how it's all used. I don't mind. But yes, today's show was just basically a little bit of a behind-the-scenes show of Chaturday Live where we do it. You know, I don't have a fancy big apartment, you know, or studio RV where I can take it on the road. It's all about using the facilities that you've got, and yeah, don't use all the money either. You know, try and do all the budget.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it is very easy to create some really, really good results without actually having to, you've gone into quite a lot of detail because of the amount of kit that you are likely to use, either being, on location, like in the middle of a football pitch for your interview that you did. It is actually fairly easy to do something with a much more simplistic setup. I'm actually just running through my iPad, and as I said earlier on, I'm using nothing but an iPad and my earphones with the built-in microphone to get the microphone sort of nearer to my mouth. That's about it, and just some lights to kind of just make it a bit brighter. And that would be enough, depending on what you were doing, vlogging, just to camera kind of work, whatever it might be. And certainly when you're static, my device is just set on a stand as well. So, yeah, that's good. It's been very, very interesting. And it's been really interesting to look at how you are coordinating quite a lot going on whilst you are obviously concentrating on your focus, which is, you're the person that you're interviewing or talking about, whilst actually having to look after cameras and things like that. So handy that Sean is now on board and looking after
and we
stuff
do have,
as well.
And we will on location as well, hopefully have Taylor, who will be doing the videography side of things as well. So I'll have a cameraman, I'll have Sean that does all the production work, plus me, the host. So when we do get out there and do it, it will be a little bit more better. Obviously, soon I'll be able to meet Sean in person and actually show him the system. We'll go for a pint, meet outside, and talk about it. But yeah, there's more to come from the show. It's not finished yet. It's only going to get bigger. So do stick around. There's more to come. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign us all off. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much for tuning in and sticking around with us. If you're watching it back, remember to hit that like, share button and follow us on all Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere. Yeah, hit that like, share button. Well done. You say, I don't have to do that now. It's Sean's job. You can do all that for me. And then, yeah, we'll do all that. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Look after yourselves. Remember, this is in aid of mental health awareness. Stay connected with your friends and family. Check in on them every now and then just to make sure everybody's okay. It's okay not to be okay, as they say. Tell people if you just need a little bit of a conversation, it's perfectly fine. Or you can contact the show directly. You'll get through to me or one of my little minions in the backstage, Sean or somebody else will look at the messages and get back to you. No dramas whatsoever. We're here as a support as well. Or you can message Dan. If he gets back to you, you're lucky. So, yeah, it's up to you. Right. We're going to do that 80s cheesy Chatso wave. Now, I don't actually have to touch any buttons. That's Sean's job. Sean's going to hit the end broadcast button, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye. Hit the button.